Hi, I'm Kate Warren, Director of Global Recruitment Services at DevX, and welcome to my Career Matters video blog. This week, I'm going to be talking to you about managing your online presence. Earlier this week, I was speaking to several groups of job seekers and discussing different job searching strategies, and I had one participant email me afterwards, actually asked to be kept anonymous, so I will leave out her name, but wanted to know about managing their online presence and how engaging with social media could help or hamper their job search. And what she asked was, I heard that recruiters will often Google candidates to see what they can find on the web and often look at sites like Facebook and Twitter to determine whether to interview or hire someone. Is this true? And what if they Google me and see something that eliminates me from being hired but I didn't even know about it? And then how can I take advantage of social media to get noticed? Are people really hiring candidates off of these sites? So while most recruiters in global development, I know, are still relying on traditional channels of recruitment, they post jobs, receive applicants, go through networking and referrals, search places like DevX. More and more of them are engaging on social media, maybe even just by posting some of their vacancies there, or engaging with different audience and trying to get social. So it doesn't hurt to get involved and get on those same social media outlets that they are. I don't think it's a silver bullet. It's not going to find you a job in and of its own self, but it can be part of your strategy, and it can help really brand you as an expert in your area of expertise and help broaden and build that network of professionals that maybe could help you land a job in the future. So a few things that you might want to be aware of, some tips to managing your online presence to make the most of it or to make sure that you're not hurting your future job prospects would be. The first is to keep your personal and professional social media channels separate. So some sites are great for some of that personal sharing. For example, Facebook is great for putting up pictures of your children. I know I definitely do that, share pictures of my daughters with my family, your vacation photos, sharing funny jokes or those hilarious BuzzFeed stories that go around and go viral. That's all a great place to do that with your friends and family, but it's not something that a prospective employer really needs to see, or should you want them to. You have to be more guarded with what you share, and it's just not an appropriate place to try to engage with potential hiring managers or employers. But on the reverse, sharing maybe that report on your recent excursion to Uganda on seed production or the supply chain of pharmaceuticals might bore your friends and family to tears. So that might not be the best place to put some of that professionally related content again. But Twitter might be a good place to share that, where you can build a group of followers and follow other people in your areas of expertise to share that more professionally relevant content. So this is where you can really brand yourself as an expert. If you get engaged on a social media site like this, you can follow different thought leaders or leaders in the space. And an advantage of Twitter is they don't have to accept you to follow them, so you can follow some pretty great people there and see what they're reading. But be sure to engage with them, ask them questions, provide comments or feedback on what they share, and share things that you found yourself or even written yourself. So again, this is a good place to brand yourself as an expert. It's not necessarily going to land to a job, but it helps get your name out there, helps broaden that network, and who knows, they might be able to help you find a position going forward. I would say the other thing is to really keep your public posts positive, particularly on sites like Twitter or others that are really open and anyone might be able to find them. If a recruiter, again, not every recruiter I know goes and Googles people as part of the hiring process, but definitely some do. And if they see stuff that comes up that's really negative, talk about how much you hate your job or you hate your boss, that's going to be a pretty big turnoff to them. So anything that's out there publicly, you want to make sure is professional and positive and isn't going to put a sour taste in a recruiter or hiring manager's mouth. The other thing I would say is then just try searching yourself and see what comes up. If you haven't done so already, it's a really important thing to do for many reasons, but particularly for your professional life. So maybe nothing comes up, and that's okay. You don't need to have a footprint on the web in order to land a job. Many people don't, and that is fine. But if stuff does come up, you want to make sure that it's accurate and that it's going to reflect really who you are. Or maybe there's other people who share the same name as you, and the recruiters are savvy. They know that there's more than one person with the same name. So if you share the with a convicted felon or terrorist that they're likely to conclude that it isn't the same person. But if there is any kind of misinformation out there that you think could be misleading or confusing to a potential hiring manager or recruiter, you could clear that up with them, not necessarily on your resume. I don't think you need to disclose that on your resume, but when you get further along in the process, maybe after an interview, you can kind of say in a lighthearted way that you aren't the same John Smith who was the axe murderer in that town last year. So just make sure that you know what's out there and feel comfortable with your online presence, and then make any actions to fix that accordingly. But at the end of the day, engaging on social media is not going to land you the job. And really, to do it successfully, you have to spend a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort. So in some ways, it could be better spent really tailoring your applications, writing really strong cover letters, and customizing those CVs to particular positions. But if you are interested in engaging on social media just for its own merits and your own general interest, and it can be a good strategy for, again, enhancing your profile and engaging with those networks, you just want to make sure that you're keeping it professional and positive at all times. So again, thank you for joining me for my Career Matters blog this week on managing your online presence. If you have any questions at all about managing your career and international development, please tweet me at DevExCareers.